kutoka kwa baadhi ya watu ambao wageni wetu wamefika hapa leo. Mtazamaji, moja kwa moja, kwanza wacha ni kufahamisha na nani tuko naye hapa. Tuko na John Mbadi ambaye ni mbunge kutoka sehemu ya Suba. Tuko na mzee wetu kutoka jamii ya Wakalenjin, Major John Sei, na vile vile tuko na Ngunjiri bado tuko naye hapa. Lakini kwanza kabisa kuna kitu cha nitatiza mimi. Maneno yanayozungumzwa na baadhi ya wanasiasa ambao ni wanasiasa wenzako, kabla mnazungumze mnakaa chini kuyatafakari kabla kuyatoa kwa wananchi, manake maneno mengine yanageuka na kuwa chuki.
I think I agree with you. First of all, when you listen to some of these clips that we've just seen, it's really shocking, although we've heard them, we've listened to them quite a number of times. So I think one thing that leaders must realize is that there is what we call responsible leadership. Leaders must first understand that they are in positions of influence. I heard one of our audience speak that people follow leaders because of money. I don't agree. Actually, a lot of times, the leaders who are followed never give out money. Leaders of great influence in this country, and we know them, never give out money. The point is, if you realize that you are in a position of leadership where you influence people, the first thing you must do is to ensure that you are a responsible leader, because what you say is not the same thing as any other person. Today, if my friend there speaks the same words that were spoken by some of the leaders there, it would not have much effect. But the leaders who spoke such words are taken seriously by their supporters. So you must be very careful what you say and where you say it. Actually, that is why when it comes to, when you read Section 62 of the National Cohesion and Integration Act, it spells out that what amounts to hate speech is depends on first the target audience and also the person speaking it.
Let me interrupt you first. You say that some of the statements which were said by some of your leaders are shocking. Yeah. Does it mean that to you don't utter such statements?
Well, probably have uttered a statement, but I really can't remember uttering such kind of statement that I was just seen with most of my colleagues. And even if I were to utter such statement, I should be included among the people who are irresponsible in terms of leadership. Because you see, you must understand the people you are speaking to.
Yeah.
Are they able to synthesize? Because if you can come into a forum like this, if the public out there are not listening to us, and then you say exactly the same words which some of the leaders spoke, it's not bad, because the audience you are targeting are able to synthesize and analyze your statement and make good use of it. But if you speak it in a public rally, the people you are addressing are not in a position to synthesize and analyze the statement. They will take it as face value, and the net effect is tribal hatred and ethnicity.
Naomba nimhusishe mzee wetu John Sei, Major John Sei. Semi kama zile kwako wewe kama mzee unazichukulia vipi, kwa uzito gani, na ni jambo gani mnalofanya katika jamii angalau kushukisha zile hamasa za wenyeji?
Nafikiri kitu cha kwanza ningetaka kusema ni mambo ya siasa imekuwa ile biashara kali. Siku hizi kama huna pesa ya kutosha, your fame and your presence is felt when ukiwa na entourage mrefu ya magari, helicopters inapitia kule juu, banners inawaka kila mahali. Hiyo ni kumaanisha kwamba siasa yetu imechukua njia tofauti sana, na ni kweli kama huna pesa huwezi kufika kule, na hiyo inatufanya sisi tukose kuchagua viongozi walio na nidhamu, viongozi walio na direction, viongozi ambaye kweli wakisimama pale ni viongozi ambaye unasema kweli it was good he was chosen to lead the people. Na ni kwa sababu sisi wazee kwa upande wetu na kama vile nisema jana, the voice of the elder has been raised and we're going to make it louder and louder in as far as choosing the leaders is concerned.
Major Sei, naomba nikusimamishe hapo mwenzangu.
All right, thank you very much for that, Major Sei. I just want to take it back to Mr. Mbadi with respect to the kind of statements that we've had in that clip that we just ran. Among the leaders who spoke were the leader of CORD, Raila Odinga. There were luminaries such as Moses Wetangula. in terms of their internal collective responsibility and letting the public and letting your leaders know that what they are informing the public during those public rallies is wrong. What have you done? What is your role? Have you ever told Raila Odinga, by the way, that's wrong, or Moses Wetangula, you shouldn't have said that?
First of all, if I offer advice to Raila Odinga or Moses Wetangula or any other leader, I don't think that is something I would share in a forum like this. The most important thing is for us not to narrow it down to who said what. I think what is important is for us to ask ourselves, why are our leaders collectively speaking the way they do? Because probably it is because the leaders speak the way they do because they get reception from the audience.
That's a bit of a chicken and egg thing, because the leader does not pick those kinds of sentiments from the crowd. He comes up and says them himself. And removing responsibility from the individual to the collective is a bit of a cop-out, wouldn't you say?
No. I wouldn't really transfer the responsibility from the leader to the audience. Actually, as a matter of fact, I started by saying, if you're a leader, you need to understand that there are people you lead, and these people believe in you. And when you speak, you must choose what you say, because what you say may destroy the country. So as a leader, it is your responsibility. It's like the person passing the message. However it is decoded is not, if it is decoded wrongly, then it means the person who made the communication, who communicated, has to do a soul searching. So as a leader, it is your responsibility to make sure that the statements that you utter are statements that are not going to incite. Actually, I will tell you that if you read the National Cohesion and Integration Act, section 13, which defines hate speech, it has a lot to do with the person speaking. It doesn't have anything to do with the people spoken to. So as a leader, you have to ask yourself, whatever you are saying, is it threatening, is it abusive, is it insulting, is it going to elicit or stir ethnic hatred and ethnic content?
All right, hold that thought. And those are edicts that often aren't followed, unfortunately. I'll just take it to our columnist, Ngunjiri Wambogo. You've heard what Mheshimiwa Mbadi has to say. You also saw the clips. And you spoke about incomplete conversations yesterday. What is that? What is the manifestation of what we saw? And just to respond to the issue of responsibility, where does responsibility for the words that are spoken at rallies lie? Does it come from the public in listening to them, or from the leaders in terms of speaking them?
Thank you, John. First and foremost, I really want to, I think I've been a bit too hard on Mbadi and the other leaders. Actually, I do not think those leaders are doing anything different from what a lot of us are doing in our own spaces. And remember, politics, these leaders are actually representatives. You know, we keep confusing the terminology of leadership and representation. The people we have in political office are representatives of particular constituencies. So they actually tend to articulate what that constituency is saying. So a particular constituency, if it's within the Kikuyu, or within the Kalenjin, or within the Luo, or it's people with disabilities, whatever it is that you represent, the conversation they're having locally is what the leader, the representative, then comes and publicizes. And what is happening to us, we are getting uncomfortable with that conversation because it grates on us. But in essence, that is exactly what they're saying. When you go to cold strongholds, the conversation you hear from Honorable Wetangula or from Honorable Raila Odinga is what is happening, is what is actually being spoken.
Happening on the ground.
So what they're doing, and why they say it and say it with so much confidence, is because they know it resonates with the people they're speaking
and
to.
The same with Jubilee, and the same with
Jubilee, same thing with, I mean, that's our problem. So the leaders are really not the problem. They're just speaking the things that we are speaking. And just putting them on the
point taken. What do we have next, Ali Manzu?
Kinachofuata sasa, mtazamaji, ni moja kwa moja kurudi katika studio zetu za Nairobi ili tupate baadhi ya taarifa ambazo zilitengeza siku hii ya leo ya Jumapili, kiasi cha dakika chache tu, lakini mjadala huu tutarudi kwenye muda usiokuwa mrefu ili tupate kuendelea kusikia hasa kutoka kwa baadhi ya watu ambao tumewalika siku hii ya leo.